Good evening and welcome to the gorgeous Mahatma Gandhi Centre. Tonight we are here to celebrate Diwali, everything about the Diwali festival. We are also here tonight to raise funds. Yes, we are raising lots of money for the Auckland Cancer Society, Auckland Northland and Totara Hospice in South Auckland. These vital charities are here to provide fantastic services for those that are suffering, their families, those that are passing and those that have already passed. We are here tonight to give tribute to those people. We are also here to give tribute to those that are doing their absolute utmost to make a difference that is to do with cancer. We are here tonight to celebrate life. Diwali, light for life. We would like to invite Tina McCafferty, the CEO of Totara Hospice South Auckland, to say a few words.
The reality of our world at Totara Hospice South Auckland is that 80% of the patients that we see at hospice are diagnosed with incurable metastatic cancer. The other 20% of people we care for have advanced chronic or neurological disease. And as a hospice, we provide evidence-based care combined with social, emotional, practical and family support, really as folks come to terms with the fact that they are near death. We aim to enable everyone to be more ready and in a more resilient place and as free from distress as possible.
The Society of New Zealand, established in 1929, is currently the leading non-government organisation dedicated to reducing the incidence and impact of cancer and ensuring cancer care for everyone in New Zealand. It is now my pleasure to invite John Loof, CEO of the Cancer Society, to say a few words for us.
Our symbol, as you can see I'm wearing it, is a daffodil. And people often ask us, well, why does the Cancer Society have the daffodil as its symbol? And the answer is quite straightforward. The daffodil is that wonderful, joyous, bright flower that emerges just at the start of spring, just when winter is finishing, symbolising the transition from the darkness of winter through to the promise and the hope that spring brings. And very much like Diwali itself, it is all about hope. What we're about is the future, and trying to reduce the harm that cancer does in the future, and reduce the number of people that might develop a cancer diagnosis in the future. And a little bit later on this evening, you'll hear from a colleague of mine, Dr. Francis Hunter, about some of the wonderful research that's being done here, right here in Auckland, at the Auckland Cancer Society Medical Research Centre. And just to give you one fact, if I can just give you one fact, that cancer survival rates have more than doubled in the last couple of decades. Now, if you're diagnosed in 2016 with cancer, your chances of surviving that cancer are around about 57%, and it's doubled since the mid-70s. And that's really on the back of medical research that's broken through the barriers with new treatments, better medicines, new techniques for treating cancer patients. And there are some wonderfully exciting things just happening in the world of cancer research right now. I know tonight's going to be a fabulous night. I'm really looking forward to it. I would very much like to acknowledge and recognise all the wonderful sponsors that have put this evening together and are supporting this evening. In particular, Don Ha, very generous man from Don Ha Real Estate. I met Don for the first time a few weeks ago, and certainly want to thank you for your wonderful support, Don. And finally, I'd also like to mention a man, and he's a very humble man, and he'll probably be embarrassed by me mentioning him, but Jatin Patel is absolute gold. He and his team have put so much work into putting on this evening. And I've known Jatin for a number of years. He's been involved, he's been supporting the Cancer Society to such an amazing degree. He's been on cycle events. He comes along and helps on our patient dinners. Nothing is too much trouble for him. And he's just a wonderful friend and a wonderful supporter of the Cancer Society, and I'd like to, I think we should all give Jatine a wonderful round of applause.
We're a small practice, we're not a major corporate or anything like that, but my partner Jatin Patel came to me and wanted to raise some funds for cancer and hospice. So I wasn't interested in taking on the project and raise 15 or 20,000 because the hard work that's needed to raise fund wasn't worth the effort. So we set the target of 50,000 and then we set about working on the strategy to raise 50,000, and then we implemented the strategy, and I've got to give credit to Jatin for implementing the strategy, because the hardest part is to implement the strategy, not just set the goals and the strategy. The idea and the concept was that sponsorship should cover all our expenses, and the dinner of 500 people at $100 each would go straight to the charities.
When I was thinking about and contemplating what to talk to you about tonight, I felt that the theme of community would be something salient to discuss. And that's because community is not only a theme that's obviously of central importance to Diwali, but it's also an important dimension of our effort against cancer. Just about every member of our community is affected by cancer in some way. Everyone has a family or a friend who is affected by the disease, and the toll in terms of the pain and suffering that it wreaks on our community is incredibly high and intolerably high, in my opinion. But in the spirit of Diwali, I believe that it's also appropriate for us to observe the real power of this response to cancer that Jatin and his team has precipitated by bringing the community together as a response. And indeed, I feel that the human spirit really is at its most magnificent in the face of adversity. So, indeed, whether it's a patient who has a treatable tumour and their resolute determination to overcome their disease, or indeed the endless energy that my colleagues at the Cancer Society invest in making the patient experience just that little bit more tolerable, or even the sense of love and connection that we feel when a loved one has an advanced or untreatable tumour and is not long for this world. I think it's appropriate for us to be thankful for the really admirable qualities of our community that come out in times of crisis and shared purpose.
Before the event, he gave me a tour of the hospice, how it works, and then also the Cancer Society, how it works. And when I get to see all the volunteer that was involved and that provide all of these volunteer works, especially Jatin himself and his wife, when I visit the hospice, his wife was in the kitchen. It was no hesitation for me to be involved, because I didn't know that they work on many donations to keep the system running. So I decided, there's no hesitation for me to do that, because it's good to give back to the community that is involved in real estate in my company. And at the event, it was larger than anyone would expect, and we raised further more money on the night. I think something like over 20,000 on auction items. 2 weeks ago, I found one of my own friends got liver cancer right now, and he just, around the corner in Auckland Hospital. So all of a sudden, everything is doing for a good cause, and to see someone that and all of a sudden, in his 50s, and now he's got liver cancer, which is quite a shock to my system. And therefore now, to support the good cause for good people, I wouldn't hesitate.
I've just got one very special item item to play for you tonight, and it comes from a very special cricketer.
Sports is a great way to teach not only kids, but adults how to create those relationships amongst other cultures. And it's great to see New Zealand playing against India, so it's probably fitting that I'm sending this message then. And I just wish the Indians would give us half a chance of winning a few games. Hopefully we can get competitive in the one days, and just to lastly wish everyone a fantastic night. Thank you very much. Bye.
सुनते नहीं हैं किसी की अर्जी, करते नहीं हम रेगुलर ड्यूटी थाना में बैठे ऑन ड्यूटी बजावे हाय पानी.
I would like to thank you all for being here tonight, helping ensure that the many services that the Cancer Society and Totara Hospice offers will continue. I am honoured tonight to share a little of my family's story so you can understand the importance of Totara Hospice in our community and why my team of student volunteers and why my team of student volunteers in the Hospice Youth Ambassador Group do what we do. So now, you might be wondering, what is a young 17-year-old student like me doing here? In 2014, my family and I witnessed the loss of a great man. He was the foundation of our family. He was a pillar in my life. My uncle Manu Kilifi Tukula died from stomach cancer. I lost my uncle very suddenly. He was a man of many things, a man of love, a man of kindness, a man who always took time to make my dreams come true. He was known as the master of disaster, and when he talks, he talks. There is a perception that when people are terminally ill in their last dying days, they go to a hospice. That I now know is a tiny fraction of what hospice offers. Although that is a very important part of hospice, you know what? When Uncle Manu was diagnosed, he still had a whole lot of living to do in this new different journey he was on before he got to that dying part. And in order to do that time as well as you can, you need more than just your family and friends. You need people who have done it before. You need the Cancer Society. Losing someone so close, there is a depth in understanding. There is a depth in understanding in me that I know will carry me forward in all I do in my life. You see, sadly, the one thing that my parents didn't teach me while growing up is the one thing every one of you is no doubt afraid of, you and I. It is death. Death is the one guarantee we have in life, yet it is the most feared. Sorry, I don't mean to be somber, because hey, we might live to be 100. So I tell you this. I continue to volunteer as a Totara Hospice Youth Ambassador to ensure every day I do my best to not let any family or individual go through the struggle of being left alone during and after the loss of a loved one. To know that every day the money we raise is ensuring that patients and families are cared for, supported and not alone. Tonight, to help Totara Hospice and the Cancer Society and helping your community. Because you see, coming together is the beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success. I am Whangafua Telesia Po'oi. a 17-year-old taught at a hospice youth ambassador, and hoping like my family and I, you will give generously and know you are making a difference to people like you and me. And as my grandma would say, it's just like a magic penny, hold on tight and you won't get any. Lend it, spend it, give it away, it'll come right back to you.
Thank you for believing. Because if we don't believe in life, and we don't believe in our families and communities, what is there? Not a lot. You've heard from some amazing speakers tonight. You've seen some amazing dancers. It is Diwali. It is a celebration of life. And now it is time to celebrate with your pockets, because we've got some amazing auction items and I'm sure you will enjoy bidding.
What we're here to do tonight is to raise money, because money can do things. Wasn't it great to hear from Dr. Francis earlier that a grant of 100,000 was leveraged into 2.3 million? That's what can be done. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we're not here to buy things at a bargain. Normally when you go to an auction, you're looking for a bargain, aren't you? Well, tonight, you might be paying the most money anyone's ever paid for a bottle of whiskey. But won't it be great? Be fantastic. Second call at 500. At 750. First call then at 750. At $2,000. This is the one that's selling. 2.5. Is it 2? 2.5 now. 2,500. At $3,000. First, second, third, final call, sold.
So would like to give a big thank you to Chan Patel, that he worked very hard with us to do this event management.
We've had a provisional total for just for the auction side of the evening, and it looks like it's over $21,000. So congratulations.
Thank you all and have a good night and drive safe. Thank you.
Now, after the event successfully, I guess we collectively here between us, we have raised $35,000 for Cancer Society and equally for the South Auckland Hospice, which is an amazing effort that exceeded everyone's expectation. So I guess this is
this can help. Yes,
it's a priceless donation.
Yes.
Yeah, it is, Don.
I would have no hesitation to support it any further. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Don.
I really appreciate everyone who supported this event. Thank you.
It's very humbling standing here between Don and Kanua and Jatine, and fantastic sponsors, fantastic supporters of the Cancer Society. And as you say, Don, it's a very real cause that we're here for. It's something that touches us all, and we never know when it's going to touch someone close to us in society. And you've done so many things for us over the years. And we'd just like to recognise you.
My name
with, well, we just felt that some recognition for you was long overdue. So thank you for what you've done for us.